Look at them as they're all lit up. That's pretty cool. Hello everyone, Thranxes here, and welcome back to Factorio Mega Factory Series Episode 7, where today we're going to be doing a few things and talking about some changes to the factory. As you can see, we've made things a little more colorful. I do like flashing lights and colored lights, so we've adjusted the science centers to have these colorful blue and purple lights. Blue and pink, sure. Pink, purple. I think it's supposed to be purple, but in any event, it looks good. We've added, so what else have we done? We've added some more lights here. Let's go over here. We'll talk about this. Well, actually, no. First of all, let's talk about the research. So one of the things that I noticed, getting ahead of myself in this episode, was that all of our buffers are full. So as you can see, the storage here is fine. Everything is topped off except the oil, which fluctuates because it's constantly preparing to make rocket fuel. You can see the copper is completely full. Trains are backed up. It's the same with the iron, completely full. We have the same with the steel over here, completely full. Look at it all. Then over here we have plastic, same thing, green circuits. And up here, finally, red circuits. Everything that we were concerned about is full and backed up. So for that reason, we're going to start doing some research. We also had to add extra storage over here because our storage network finally filled up. So we added an extra one over there. But what research are we going to do? Well, we're saving up for some big research like maybe worker robot speed 13. That could be a lot of fun. We started it immediately after doing worker robot speed 12, and we subsequently broke the whole system after roughly 90,000 science. The system started to collapse. We've reinforced it, but what we're going to do is mining productivity so that when we set up our drills, we actually produce more ore. And a fun fact, so it's actually not that much science. When you have high research like we have, you can knock this out very quickly. And what it's going to do is when you get to mining productivity 50, you're actually getting one extra ore for every ore that you mine up, and it works with oil as well. So it effectively doubles the output of every deposit. So that means, and that's going to happen every 50 levels. So by mining productivity 100, you're talking 300% or a 200% increase of the original value. So we're going to research that, and that's not going to take a lot of rockets to maintain that science, but it's going to take some. You can see how quickly 5,000 science is accomplished with our science centers. I do believe we're going to need one rocket launch. Look at them as they're all lit up. That's pretty cool. And we're almost halfway done. So we're going to let this rocket launch for a while. And we're going to let that research go for a little bit. So one of the things that I've been doing with the base is extending all the defensive positions around the base in a giant circle. So we've got a lot of sort of what we started doing here, and I did another test fire event here, and then I just started putting them everywhere because the idea is that the train is just going to make a loop. It's going to go to a spot, come back and reload, go to the next. It's going to keep doing that, and we're going to let it keep running the loop because once we get some of this research knocked out just to task our system, we're going to start researching artillery speed, which means it's going to have a handful of targets at every spot once it gets back there. There you go. Look how fast that was. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. So the next thing we did was we added this little blue light system. And what it does is it basically just turns red whenever a train is not ready. And then we added the 5th passenger train to this terminal. Now I'm currently set up for everything that I should need in order to do what I want to do. In fact, some of these things I don't need, but I hold on to them because I like to have them on me. That's not a thing we're going to need. I believe we're using three shields. That's probably okay. We can go ahead and put these back just to give ourselves a little bit more room. It's really easy to get cramped for space out there. We don't need these wires. Nope. 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 And this can go here. Okay, so we should be good to go. Let's go ahead and we're going to take the train down to Epsilon, I believe was the last one I did. So I've started adding different rail setups here. Look, you can see. So now when the light goes, it turns red. Because what happens is this will turn blue once the train makes the turn onto this track. It triggers all of the chain signals, and this will turn blue. So if you see this blue and there's no train, then you know the train is on its way, so be careful. Oops, no. Stop. Let's go 53. Why not? So we actually want to go right. We want to go this way. Oop, and of course we failed to make the turn again. Let's we can do it. I believe in us. So it's the opposite direction. There we go. Okay. I guess that makes sense. All right. We want this defensive position to actually kind of cut up and into here. And I'm going to show you how we've been doing it thus far. And then I'm going to do the rest sort of off camera. Maybe I'll show little clips of it. But we're going to cut up and then over. And then I think to get the most coverage, we kind of want to be here, but there's a big forest there. We might try to cut up at an angle here and then block into it that way. That might leave a gap here, though. I don't really want to do that. Our other option... See, it all depends on how many more we're going to need. They have pretty good range, though. I bet we could do it up in here. So that's going to be the plan. Okay, so we've got our blueprints already ready to go. We're just going to have our robots build it while we ride the train. Oh, mining productivity? Yeah, I don't mind if I do. Whoa. Stay back. Nope. Have at thee. Okay. So we probably want to go up maybe one more, and then we're going to need to switch to an angle, right? And then get the next one out. There we go. There we go. Just got to get... Oop, see? You got to be careful, because it's easy to double tap these. And it's not the end of the world, but it is wasteful of materials. I guess materials aren't really a thing. But then my brain will know. See, then I'll know that it's different here than it is everywhere else. I'll be like, oh, but the whole line should be that secure. No, but if an area is getting frequently attacked, I have been adding extra turrets to it. And there it goes again. I just can't do it. That's a bridge too far. A bridge too far, I tell you. Oh, of course, and then it didn't get the... See, that's all the more reason to make sure it's uniform here. Let's get that on my bar here so I can just hit the button. There we go. And then we're going to need this here, like that. What? Mining productivity, you don't say. Sure. Please and thank you. We do actually want some rail on here. How close are we getting? So we're going to need to cut up through the forest, and then actually... I was planning on kind of coming up through here, but I think this is going to be better. We'll level off about here, split the difference, and then try to block a defensive position right there. And then I'll talk about the changes that we made to the defensive position blueprint since the last time. Alright, I'm going to remember to start using hotkeys. I promise. Okay. We just got to keep moving upward towards the iron ore deposits. There we go. So right about here is where we need to level off. And go straight like this. Right. Aha. I'm starting to remember. There we go. Now, can we just run this straight? I think we can, but I don't know what lies ahead of us. This could get pretty messy. Let's stop and see what's going on, because I always bring a tactical nuclear response. Let's just see what that does. Come on back here. Hang out here. Oh, mining productivity, you say? I don't mind if I do. Come on. The railroad's coming into town. I'm very sorry, but we can't allow you to stay here. It's just not going to. Oh my goodness. Oh, kill them with fire. Oh my. Yep. And that's why I carry flamethrower ammunition on me. Because you never know. Alright. I think we're doing pretty good. We're going to forge a path up here. So it looks like it's going to be another nuclear launch a little bit into the nest area here, about like this. Okay. And then, oops, nope, that's not going to work. You know what we could do? We could, if we wanted to do some serious research, we could do laser turret damage. They could stand an upgrade. What is, the next one is going to be 32,000. We could probably do that quickly enough. Let's check on our research really fast. Is it, space science is slowing down. Everything else seems to be doing okay. One rocket launching was probably not enough. That's alright. That's alright. We can always launch more rockets later. Let's continue with mining productivity. I want the ore that we're going to get to last as long as possible. So we're sort of pushing into this little area here. I feel like we could push a little more. Well, if you guys are going to line up for me like that, then we're gonna spend a nuke for you. There you go. Thanks for the autosave. Alright, so let's just cut right up in here and say like this. Not so bad. We could research shotgun damage. We're putting a lot of our science so far into robot speed. And mining productivity. I think we should drive it a little closer. I think we should. Let's try that. So at this point, I have this blueprint for this fully modified and outfitted defensive position, which it appears is going to run into some problems right down here. So let's go ahead and... No, on second thought, let's just visit that with a nuke. Okay, now back to what we were doing. No, okay. So these will deconstruct. Oh my goodness. No. No, that went, we might be a little close for that one. Oh, that was okay. Mining productivity, you say? I never would have guessed. Stop fighting me. Okay. Now is when we... Oh, up here. Pick up the trees quick as you can. Boom, there we go. Now is when everything gets built. Fast as you can. Yep, and now we got to get over here and connect the power over here. There we go. That puts a lot of them online. It's like, hello, we're moving in, we're new here. You're gonna love what we do at the place, I promise. I promise. Look at that. I know, things are getting destroyed. It's just crazy over here. RoboPort batteries are out of a charge. So here's what we do. So now I come over here to these RoboPort and I go, you can have 50 logistics robots and 50 construction robots, and it's got these buffer chests to request repair packs and laser turrets, which will come in or arrive on this stop here, and this is where the train with the artillery will park. Now here you'll see all the lights are green because there's no train here or headed this way, and the way they're set up is that when the artillery train is on its way, the system will detect from many of these chain signals that it's coming, and it will turn the lights yellow. So when the lights turn yellow inside here, you'll know the artillery train is on its way, and you should stay clear of the tracks. You'll have about 30 seconds. Once the lights turn red, the artillery train has actually passed the final turn here and committed to this rail, and the lights will be red for the entire duration. that this area is occupied by the artillery train until such time as the train is fully clear of the station, and then they will turn green again. I do that because I don't just want things to be functional, I want them to look nice. I like the way that these colored lights look. I like making them do things. I think it's fun messing with the logic circuits. Although it's unnecessary. It really is unnecessary, but I think this is really great here. So we're going to label this. Let me look at my map here. This was epsilon, and this is alpha up here, and that's more of beta. So this is going to be, so this will be actually epsilon 1. So let's modify this. Yep. And then that means this will be 2. So pax epsilon 2, and you guessed it, defensive position epsilon 2. Okay, so now let's go get our train, and we're going to program into it right down here. Pax epsilon 2, please, until inactivity for 200 seconds. Proceed. Boom. Wonderful. Now, we'll set this to manual so it waits for us here at the station. Then next thing we're going to do, oh, mining productivity, you say. Then next thing we're going to do is come over here, and this is the train. This train that rides this track delivers repair kits and laser turrets to all the defensive stations to make sure that they can maintain themselves should they ever get attacked. And on this train, we're going to program in the same thing and tell it that once it gets to pax epsilon 2, which I just noticed those aren't capital, that's going to bother me. It should also be for 15 seconds of inactivity, and then it can return back to automatic cargo. Now, because of the wonder of remote viewing, we can come back over here and say that, yeah, this should be all capital, because I want it to be the same. Okay. And we're kind of set up. So this spot is ready to receive the artillery train. It will snake its way in here. It will blast everything in a giant circle around it, and then it will leave and go back and rearm. And we're going to set it up to run like a clock so that it's just clockwork. It just goes one spot to another to another. And we're going to do that automatically. We'll probably watch maybe the first one, get an idea of how it's working, and then we're going to come back and start doing more research and concrete production. So let's go ahead, and at this point, I'm going to do the rest. I'm going to do the rest of the defensive positions. I'll bring you back when we're done and we're ready to launch the artillery train. And this will be the last mining productivity we do as well. 60, we'll go ahead and pause it there. Okay, we're back, and we're just taking the PAX terminal over to the northernmost defensive position. I'm going to call that one 12 o'clock, and then that's going to be the final point where everything resets. It moves counterclockwise, but that's just the way that it went down. We can always rearrange the stops later if we need to. And it looks like things are being destroyed, but that's okay. We're going to go over here and get the pieces in position. And it doesn't look like we have them. Let's go ahead and make a couple of these stack inserters, which is what we're missing. These stack filter inserters. For some reason, there wasn't any placed in my inventory. I'm guessing maybe we only had a minimal amount in storage, possibly, which is fine. We don't really use them all that often. And then what we can do is we can command our rearming train to proceed directly to where we're at to make sure that this location gets what it needs. There we go. Boom and boom. And now we'll just head back. We'll get out of here. And it's going to wait because the other train actually got on this track really, really fast. Which is actually pretty neat. With everything tied together, the trains with nuclear fuel can actually get from one point to the other fairly quickly. I say that, and here we are waiting. Why am I getting a red light, I wonder? It should have just requested to take the other path, but I suppose it's going to wait. That's the burden of using the chain signals, I imagine. But, I mean, usually you're not going to find yourself in that situation, where it just happens to be coming to the same place you're at. See, look, I could have taken this path. In any event, we're going to ride this PAX train all the way back. And then we're going to take the artillery train out for a drive. We're going to have a little bit of fun with that. Watch it in action, set it up to go non-stop so that it is just making the rounds automatically. We'll see if our production can keep up. We might even research some laser turret damage. And we're going to start setting up production for refined concrete so we can actually start improving the factory as it looks and the movement speed around the factory. Because now that refined concrete is a thing, I want some of it. Yes, I do. Where are things being destroyed? Now, if I was to check on this position, would you have your materials? You would. And therefore, all of your items are repaired. Okay, good. So let's swing on down. Oh, everything's trying to stock me up with everything. I don't need all of these items anymore. I don't need those. I only need 100 of these. Okay, we'll just leave the rest for now. Actually, I know I don't need 300 of those. I don't need 400 of those. We can start getting rid of some of this. And then, we're going to talk about this. Okay, so this is the artillery train. So here's what we've set up with these lights. And yes, I'm probably going to redo these wires. They are a little crazy, but it took me some time to get it working. So here's how the light system works. The train is made up of several components of one locomotive and 3 artillery wagons that load from these chests. I think we went over this in the last episode, and it repeats and repeats and repeats. So if these chests are empty, it figures that this is not fully loaded, and it gives you a red. And this will flash red. Same but it's per cargo container, right? Per artillery wagon. Same with this one. If these are empty, this will flash red. If these are empty, this will flash red. If any one of these are flashing red, this part for the locomotive will light up red. And that's repeated all the way down the train. Now, if these chests are half full, this will flash yellow. Same with this one. If these chests are half full, it will flash yellow, or not half full, but a little. I think if the chests have 20 combined between the two of them, and they hold 98, so well below half. These will flash yellow, letting you know that the wagons are fully loaded, but the chests are taking a time to fill up, which means you might not have as much in reserve as you want. And if any one of these are flashing yellow, this lead light here will actually be yellow. Alright, so we're going to keep adding these here. We've got Epsilon 1, Epsilon 2, and it's going to be, so the way we're setting up this train to function, and I'm going to demonstrate the first one and then cut to having them all done, is we're telling it to go to the next defensive position until its inventory is empty. Actually, in between those two, it should have gone to armament loading until inventory full. Right, so the first one says circuit 0. Okay. But eventually it's going to, it's all the other ones, all the other armament loadings say full cargo inventory. So as soon as I kick this off, it's going to run as soon as I change that one. But we're going to say empty cargo inventory or 30 seconds of activity. And that means if we still have bullets, but there's no targets to shoot at, then just come back to armament loading until your inventory is full. Right, and then after that, we're going to go all the way around and set this thing up for every position that we have, and then I'll bring you back. Okay, all the defensive positions are programmed in. We're going to change this one to armament loading, take off when inventory is full. And it's heading to defensive position beta, but we know beta is clear. We actually know Omega 1, so we're going to actually set up to go to Omega 2. We're going to skip ahead. Now, we'll need to revisit beta and all the ones, the first two that we originally hit, once we research the range extension for our artillery range. But we're not at that point yet where we're going to do that. So let's go ahead. We're going to drive this into position and put the hurt into the bugs, and then we'll drive it back, and we'll ensure that our lights function as they should, and then we're just going to let this train do its thing while we start putting together our concrete, and we'll check in on the map to see how it's doing after a time. There you go. You can see it was yellow, and now it's red, because we're pulling into the station, and things are about to get crazy. We just got more turrets and repair packs, and boom, the artillery is going nuts already. Look at it go. It's pretty good. It's definitely fun to watch the devastation. Oh, the poor bugs, what are they gonna do? Just shelling them. A round for every bug at every nest. And of course they're going to attack. That's okay. I think what we can do safely is I'm going to go ahead and queue up. Nope, not this one. I want the foremost train. Yes, thank you. And go ahead and swing over to Omega 2 and come and pick me up, please. This train should be this should be self-sufficient. This entire process and all the build-up between last episode and this episode was to automate this system so that we should have a tremendous buffer of dead bugs pushed around the base, and the battles will finally be cleared once and for all. We won't have to worry about it anymore. Appears like we have plenty of repair packs here. Yep, there's 100 there. This holds 20. They've got some in buffer there. All right, there we go, and there's our ride. So we're actually going to get back on board and head back to the main terminal. Well, we remote watch the artillery do its job. So many good ore deposits over here. We're going to open up. It's going to be great. Look at it, 69 million on the iron. With our mining productivity, that is double. That deposit alone has 138 million iron. More than that actually. We're up to productivity 60 now. If we can get up to productivity 100, we will triple ore deposits. 67 million, 28 million, 45, 34. We'll be able to procure enough iron. We'll be able to duplicate. Uh-oh, somebody's taking out towers over here. With enough iron, we'll be able to duplicate this factory in other areas and increase the amount of science we can process at once. And hopefully that's going to put us closer and closer to our infinite research goals. Okay, I think concrete will be settled over here. This is sort of where the new stuff is. So you can see everything is flashing here. All the chests are ready. We're going to wait to see... Wow, this thing really just... And these are only half empty, so it's putting out a lot of... Look at that. Where's our pollution line? And look, now the pollution line will be attracting no enemies over here at all. It's being absorbed by everything. That's really key. That means we're not going to be getting attacks, testing our barriers anymore. It means the nests won't have to be loaded into memory. I think that was it. Still has ammunition. But it has successfully, let's kill that pollution measurement there. Yeah, look at that. Look at that ring. The ring of devastation. And that defensive position will be able to hold out there indefinitely. And the artillery train should leave as soon as its inactivity measurement goes. And we're going to get to making our refined concrete. Okay, so I don't really think we're making concrete anywhere specifically. In fact, I know for a fact that we're not. So let's set up something here. The more I consider this, because we're going to need water to make concrete, which means we're going to need sort of a water unbarreling section, and then we won't need to make hazard concrete because we're going to turn that into refined concrete, which will also need a watering section. I think this is probably that's kind of our automatic watering setup that we have here attached to the explosives. In this way, we'll be able to, let's see, if we do that there, that's really not going to work. We could do it up here. Yeah, let's do it up here. I like this. In fact, we're going to move this out of the way. This little section. These pit stops, these robot pit stops are not important in the grand scheme of things, and we can just rip them right up because we're about to put down a factory that's going to put down a lot more roboports than that was. That's too low. That's too high. That looks even to me. Let's give ourselves a little bit of a walkway. There we go. Now, what I quickly want to do is actually turn off their logic requests. And as soon as these machines are built, because I know we're producing these in inventory, the factory will sustain itself. Let's take off the explosive making. Put these things back into our inventory. If all the robots are done now, they can come and pick up their mess. Nope. Nope. They said, hey, we're just following orders. I know. So what we want to make is not this. We're going to need to pull this up. So let's pull these up. Not a problem. Instead, we're going to take some assembling machines here like this. But this changes the nature of where the pipes have to go. A little bit it does, doesn't it? So let's see. If I was to look at my blue belts, because those require lubricant. Aha. There it is. That's what I need. Okay, good. Let's do that. So we'll do one, and then we'll do the other. Okay, that'll work. Whenever you have a good idea, it's always about the copy-paste. No, we're going to pull all this up. We don't need that. So that blueprint we can get rid of, and instead we're going to do this one, which I guess we'll do the substation at the top just to kind of make it uniform there. There we go. Ooh. Now, what we need to do is get in here and change this out quick. Nope, stop processing that. Stop processing that. Everybody stop. Stop now. Oh, look at the gears. They're going everywhere. This is madness. This is madness. Okay, let's set up a thing for auto trash. I don't want any of that. No sulfur. I don't want any sulfur. I don't want any coal. Oh my goodness, on the gears. It's still receiving requests. Ah! Okay, that's okay. We've figured it out. This piping system is bad. This is going to have to be replaced. This is no good. How about if we turn this into an active provider chest and we turn this into an active provider chest? What say you then? Very good. And you will be empty water barrel. There we go. So we have that, and then this pipe will go like this. Boop, just like that. Perfect. So this is where we're going to make the concrete right here and right there. Perfect. Actually, before we do that, I would like to copy this while it's kind of a blank slate. I'm going to rotate it over like this and pose it like that. Perfect. Okay, so over here is where we're going to make the refined concrete. And then up top here is where we're going to make the regular concrete. Although we've copied a few... hold on a second. This is backwards, isn't it? Right, so... requester chest has to go here and here. Yep, there we go. Same thing on this side. Requester and requester. Okay, good. So this requester chest is easy. We're going to get, what is it? It's 480 water barrels at all times. Thank you. And then the same with this. And that will ensure that at all times we are ready to go with water in the pipe. Now for the regular concrete, let's see, it's going to take 1 iron ore and 5 stone brick. So let's say 100 iron ore and 500 stone brick. I feel like that's going to take care of that. Right, and we can safely leave that open, I feel. But the construction time is going to be very fast, I would imagine. I know we have iron ore in the network, do we not? Do we not? Oh my, we do not. Okay, all right, well that's because of a very specific reason. So let's go take care of that. Because we're going to need concrete. Although we don't really need to worry. Well, the thing is we have 6.2 million concrete in storage. Let's just leave that there notionally. And what I'll do is in between this episode and the next episode, I will go to the robot foundry here that is smelting all of our raw iron into iron plates for surplus and tell it that unless we have a certain amount of raw iron in storage, these should not go. And then once we dip below that amount, all of these should stop funneling the raw iron into the system. That's the way that should work. Now, but over here, we can go ahead and look at this and go, it is 1 steel, 8 iron sticks. 8 iron sticks? We're making those, right? I feel like we have to make those for something. We have 1,000 of them somewhere. Oh, could we fit it kind of right here, right at the end? It looks like it would jut out a little bit. I'm not sure. Okay, let's just request them and we'll see what happens. This should be wide open, though. All right, so it's going to be 100 steel. And then, what was it, 300? It's going to be 800. Okay, yeah, we could do that. 800, sure, why not? And then it's going to be 2,000 concrete. That seems a little out of control, but let's go ahead and do it anyways. We'll just make sure the numbers are right. See how fast it's made. It's 15 seconds, but it makes 10. That might be okay. Oh, yep, here comes all the concrete out of storage. Okay, it is making it fairly fast. Let's go ahead and we're going to make this an active provider chest. And then we're going to connect this stack inserter to the network and say only enable if the amount of refined concrete is less than 1 million. I want 1 million refined concrete on the network, and just keep using up all the resources and concrete that we have until you get there. I think that's good. Where is this train? Where are we going here? So it's over at defensive position iota 2. Let's take a peek. Oh, there it is. Yes, it cleared this out. Ooh, look at that push. They're still angry about that. Cleared that out. It is making the rounds. It's pretty good. It definitely can spend the rounds faster than we can make them, so I'm sure it's only a matter of time before it ends up coming back and not being able to launch right away again. For now, it seems like it is not having a trouble at all. Let's check our pollution line. Look at that. That was the goal all along, was to get the pollution line back behind where the bugs are. That's just great. All right. Let's put in a request for some refined concrete, because I want to see what this stuff looks like. So we'll put in a request for 500 of it. Maybe we'll make a little bit of hazard refined concrete. We're going to see what it looks like when we start touching up the factory with the better concrete now. This thing is going to be going for quite some time here. Looks like it has no problem keeping the ingredients we've requested. Ooh. Trying to attack the power line, the bloodline for the defensive positions. Ooh, look at these bugs mounting an assault. It's still just doing its thing. I love it. Okay. Refined concrete. Let's just take a peek at what this looks like. Oh, I mean, that looks much better, yes. Well, hold on. Okay, so let's make some refined concrete. Let's get these on our bar. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah, that looks nicer. Oh, it sure does. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to make some concrete blueprints and start commanding our construction robots to start paving this factory with the better concrete. Look at how nice that looks. Oh, yeah. That's great. Okay, so we're going to start stockpiling all of our fancy concrete. In fact, I think I can stop putting the request on now. We will do some of it by hand. I do feel that we're going to have to inevitably command our robots to do it en masse, and we might do some of that in the next episode. But this is actually where we're going to wrap things up. Just to make sure that we're running everything at its fullest, though, let's go ahead and upgrade laser turret damage, because why not? And, of course, that's going to require some rockets to launch. But before we go and launch the rockets, let's watch the artillery train reload and see if our lights do what they're supposed to do. Because if anything, we should be taxing the... No, of course not. They're all fully loaded just fine. Alright, let's see what happens. Not that it's necessary, it is a little gee-whiz, but I like having the lights that give information at a glance, because I don't have to mouse over it and see. Yep, so we already went to yellow pretty quick. The last train will always stay green. That was my control. Okay, no, this is good. Oh, yeah, there you go. You can see some of them are getting low. Oh, that's so cool. All right, well, there you go. And then as soon as it's green, it's going to launch back on its way. As soon as its inventory is full, this gives you an idea of how ready it is for when it comes back, We obviously don't have a lot of artillery in storage because look at how red everything is. We need to get over to the shuttles and get some of our shuttles launched. Currently up to 542 satellites. That is pretty good indeed. I'm not sure I want to start paving everything yet, although we will before too long. But let's get down here and let's launch some rockets so that we can get our laser turret damage going. And hopefully our defensive positions will be a little stronger. I think we can afford to keep 3 of them launching for a bit. And that is where we're going to go ahead and wrap up the episode. That being said, this has been Factorio Mega Factory Series, Episode 7. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you've had a good time watching, because as always, I've had a good time playing. So be sure and come back next time as we begin to pave the entire factory with the better concrete. But until next time, take care.